Welcome back, everybody, to the D.O.G podcast. As always, I'm Drew with German and OC. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about Week 14. We'll talk a little bit about OC and his bad luck going to the Miami Dolphin games 2 weeks in a row. We'll get firsthand what German thought about Purdy while he was super hammered at that Niner game. And then we'll talk about why German's all of a sudden wearing Fresno State gear when he reps USC.
Hey man, it was laundry day. Do whatever shirt I can find.
Nah,
That's
that's
what I just threw
bullshit.
on.
The
Uh,
dog's got a bowl game this week, and you're like, "Oh, let me represent."
You
All of
would
a
think
sudden,
since hey, you would think since Caleb Williams won the Heisman, he'd be wearing his USC stuff.
nope. Dog's
oddly,
going
odd,
to bowl game.
oddly enough, I don't have a lot of USC gear because it is a little bit tougher to find here in the Central Valley. Fresno State $10 shirt at Target, I'll take it. OC, let's go ahead. Let's talk about your boy too, man. And you brought it. I mean, I guess
He brought the bad juju. That's what he
the
did.
bad juju, man. The third time kind of solidifies that, right? You put the stamp. Tua needs to stay out of California now, dude,
Or
because
I,
this is
hey,
OC's country.
either he stays out of here or I stop going to games. One of the two. So
Highly doubt you're gonna stop going to games if
yeah,
Miami's coming to
probably not.
Cali.
All right, so
Yeah,
let me get this straight. The last 3 times you've seen Tua, so the last 2 weeks
Go ahead
here
twice. He didn't play that first year we went.
to the
right.
national championship, though. I'm talking about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
so that's the 3 times you've seen Tua in person, and then in 2019 we went to the Cowboys and Dolphins game, and they took the L. Then you got to stop going to these games, dude, because you are terrible luck. Which kind of is, I got a little question going on here if we should actually go to this game this weekend.
No, Fresno State games I'm fine at. It's
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
all
it's. I
right.
think it's. I think it's just Tua. I think it's just the
there's a
fact
common
that Tua.
denominator. There's me and Tua. There's
Yeah.
really Hawaiian looking, Mexican looking people at these games. So I think Tua's enough, and I just got to stay away.
I
when
think
was
it's
the last
just
time?
overcrowding.
When was the last time you saw the Dolphins win in person?
Mm, when they came to San Diego before they had moved to LA. That was
Mm.
2016. Kiko Alonso returned a pick six.
Jesus,
Jarvis Landry was still
2016.
playing. Ryan Tannehill was still the quarterback. Jay Ajayi was on the team.
Mm.
Philip Rivers blew the game as usual.
Right.
So that was about 6 years ago because
Dang,
they came during the COVID year to San Francisco, but
but
no
you
one
couldn't
was
go.
allowed in the
Yeah,
game.
we couldn't go to that one. Yeah.
That's when
Dang.
Ryan Fitzmagic went off.
Imagine German going to go watch your favorite team lose. I don't know what that feeling is like. Do you know what that feeling is like, German? This last week?
Actually, no, man.
Yeah.
I can't relate to OC. I mean, OC
No,
two
can't.
2 weeks in a row, man. You experiencing that? That must be very difficult. But I mean, I was very drunk. I don't know how you were. I mean, at the games.
I
I
was
mean, you were probably a little bit more
I was crying
well.
tears over there just watching freaking ball into the dirt after ball into the dirt.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's Tua's performance. What did you see? You saw it in person, second week in a row. What do you think, man?
I think the the two games they've been pretty mirror images of each other. So
Hmm.
what they're doing, the defenses are taking away the middle of the field and forcing Tua to make throws into the boundary, right, or
Hmm.
to the sideline.
It's time to
And
start making those big boy throws, huh?
yeah, so
Mm.
they're forcing him to you're either going to hit a deep shot long on us, which it happened like once to on Sunday, and then I think
Right.
the deep shot against San Francisco came off a slant route, so that technically doesn't count as a deep shot.
No, he did. He did have a deep
Oh,
shot
he did
to
have one
Tyreek
later
Hill.
on to Tyreek, but the first one of the game was off a slant route.
Right. Hmm.
The
But
Jimmy G touchdown. That's what
oh
we'll call it.
yeah, there you go, the check
Yeah.
down touchdown. But they're forcing him to make basically the perfect throw into the perfect window, and
Right.
he hasn't been able to hit it.
Hmm.
So they've taken away the intermediate stuff and the middle of the field, which he had the most like completions and most attempt ratio like charted throughout the first like
Hmm.
14 weeks of him and trying to get the ball into the intermediate half of the field, and they decided to take that away. and force him to throw to the boundary, to the sidelines, or over the top on him. And it's been proven to be working so far because
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't been able to sustain drives. I mean, they get him into third and long situations. And what's not helping him either is they don't really have they for sure didn't have a running game on Sunday against the
Mm-hmm.
Chargers. San Francisco obviously took that away,
Right.
and they're forcing him to win games. They're saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're gonna have to beat us by either throwing to the sideline or throwing over the top on us. So
So do you think it was kind of like schematically that the Chargers saw what the Niners were doing? Because the Chargers were pretty depleted when it comes to the secondary, right? They had quite a few starters missing. Even they didn't even have their Boza. He wasn't even healthy. He didn't even play. So you can't say that it was Tua's offensive line. That you can't say that it was the pass rush was getting to him. Do you think it was just schematically, and then just Chargers kind of just copied what the Niners were doing?
they actually asked Brandon Staley, the Chargers coach, about that if he
Mm-hmm.
just copied what San Francisco did, and he said, "No, we already pretty much had our game plan of what we wanted to do, but it was pretty much the same thing."
Yeah,
He
is
just
that just
I
him
I
saving
don't I
face?
don't believe
Yeah.
that one bit.
yeah, yeah, but it
Staley
was
is a terrible coach. There ain't no
yeah, but
fucking
it was
way he had that game plan going.
like he didn't want to give credit to San Francisco, but it was basically the same game plan. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, Bosa was not playing for the Chargers. Neither was Derwin James. So there was
Mm-hmm.
no excuse for Tua not to completely annihilate that secondary. Um,
Right.
I think it also falls back on a little bit of the play calling because it just felt like the Chargers were forcing you to take the checkdowns right to your running
Mm-hmm.
backs or the short stuff underneath, and Tua did not want to take it. He was either taking the shot or trying to still fit it into the window over the middle of the field, which was not there.
Mm-hmm.
So
So do you think a lot of it has to do is you? Yeah, I mean, you said a little bit about the play calling, but do you think a little bit has to do about Tua's execution, and maybe him just not flat out just playing well? Like, I mean, there was opportunities where he could have. There were some throws that he could have made, especially against San Francisco, where he was like missing throws over the top. Do you think a lot of it has to do with Tua's performance itself?
oh yeah, it starts at the top. Like he
Mm-hmm.
was getting all the praise and credit through the first 10 weeks or the
Yeah.
last month ever since he came back from the injury.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got to like at the same time like you got to be able to be critical of his play the last 2 weeks.
Right.
There's gonna be ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
I as a fan understand that. Like it's gonna happen. Like there's all these people, especially in the Dolphins community, that are just were waiting and waiting for him to have a bad game so they could
Right.
jump on him and finally say, "Oh, we told you so. We told you so."
Mm-hmm.
But like it was bound to happen. Like no one plays perfect for 17, 18 weeks.
Right.
Right.
So it's fine. Might as well get it out of the way now.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. Try to change up the play calling. Make sure he's on his P's and Q's before
Mm-hmm.
you try to make a playoff run or you try to get into the playoffs because the daunting task now is they got to win at least two, and it
Right.
starts with Buffalo, which is supposedly going to have half a foot of snow on Saturday night.
Which they actually have a tough run of games coming up, right? Like it's not going to be a cakewalk coming here, which they're going to play playing against some really good defenses. But I think also the opposite side is the the defense for Miami had another poor performance, right? I mean, you let Purdy do his thing against San Francisco, okay, or against San Francisco, but then Justin Herbert went off, right? I mean, he was kind of just being able to dictate doing whatever he wants to do on that side of the ball. Do you think the defense needs to step up also?
Oh yeah, by far, and it starts with the
Mm-hmm.
DC. Um, there's been questionable like coverages the last couple of weeks where you kind of look at. There was one play where it was like I think it was like third and goal.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers were going in, and they just played like a drop eight. Like they only rushed like three linemen. Here, Herbert has the boatload of time to pick apart the defense and find his spot because our DC decided to just drop everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Drop 8 on third and goal,
Yeah,
huh?
Right,
yeah. So, but I mean, it wasn't a short third and goal, but it was like they're like at the 15-yard line. But it was still like kind of like,
right.
what
I
do
think I
you
know
do?
what you're. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the thing I saw, and I picked up on it right away, and I was telling my sister and my cousins that were at the game. I go, look, you see this motion coming across. The Chargers are going to hit. It's like third and two. they're working into the boundary. They're working into the flat to get to the sideline
Mm-hmm.
to hit a quick dump off because you got the outside receivers coming in trying to use the pick routes to confuse the slot corner. They're just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get spacing right, and you could see it. They did it about 4 or 5 times in the first half,
Mm-hmm.
and it just never seemed like the DC picked up on it.
Right. Now, watching Herbert's performance, I know you guys were giving me a lot of shit for calling Herbert the dude. Watching his performance and how little of an offensive line he actually has and how very little weapons he has is and given the way he performed on Sunday, is Justin Herbert a dude?
Is
He
this
was
his best
more,
win of the season?
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Drew.
Would you guys say that this is his best win of the season?
Uh,
Was
I don't
on the
think I don't think it would be his best performance of the season. I mean, but it may be his best win of the season.
Yeah, but yeah, win against a quality team, right? Has he beaten
Yeah.
anyone else that's pretty good?
Let's see. Let's take a look. It's a good question. Who was he
I
beating?
think I think the performance was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't start calling him the dude yet. I think he has the potential. I think I think we talked about this a long time ago, like
Mm-hmm.
last season, that he's got the potential to be the dude. But I don't think he's just there yet. I think this is
Mm-hmm.
flashes of what we can expect from him in the future. But I don't expect this to happen on a weekly basis at this moment.
Right. So, I mean, looking at the schedule, the thing is I'm not saying that he's the dude. I'm not saying that he's like
Right.
Patrick
He's
Mahomes,
not a dude. I wouldn't call him a dude at this moment.
Mhm. Because if you look at their schedule, I mean, they've played the Chiefs twice and they've lost to them both times by 3 points. Um, they've beaten you've beaten teams that you would think that they would beat, like the Texans, the Broncos, the Browns, you know, and then lost to the Niners in close games too, lost to the Cardinals, close game. So you look throughout their entire schedule, yeah, this is probably their best win of the season so far. Yeah, I would agree.
I, I we watched OC and I watched him last year too. We went to that
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys Chargers game, and he didn't really impress me then either. And when I think about last year's team, the Chargers, and this year's team, I think that they maybe have two wins, maybe against teams that are playoff contenders or 500 or better. So I think he's growing. I think in the future he is going to be a dude. I think he will be really good. He's just not quite there yet. I think he's just still getting his feet wet.
Are you are you kind of the opposite of the Tua haters? You're the Justin Herbert haters, and then the Tua
I'm
lovers.
I'm not necessarily a hater. I'm just saying let's pump our brakes. Like why are people ranking him as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL or top 6? I don't think he's there yet. I think he has the potential, sure. But if we're ranking people based off their potential, that I mean we got to redo this whole list. Um so yeah, I wouldn't call myself a hater. I'm just trying to be like, hey, he's not to his potential yet. When he gets
O-
there, he'll be top 5.
OC, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he has all the tools necessary to be the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Miami is your best win this year, then I mean, that's not saying much because their defense is ranked like in the bottom third of the league. So I mean, congrats, you got Tua on the head to head. I'm sure all the Charger fans are self proclaiming that they had the right guy, but I mean, I go back and he's one. They're 1-1 against each other because Tua beat him the first time, but everyone seems to forget that.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's true. But I mean, the thing is I mean, you can't just like we've talked about it before. You can't just rate a quarterback just based off of their win percentage, right? I mean, there's other factors that go into a team's win percentage. Like we've talked about how bad the Raiders are, but then we also refuse to say that Derek Carr is the issue, right? Like
Hmm.
it's of course Herbert is in a terrible situation. He came to the league, went balls out his rookie season, and then he had a different head coach the next season, right? Uh, just to bring it up, he's second in passing yards, right behind Patrick Mahomes for this season so far. So, I mean, that's got to say something, right? Yeah, he's not winning right now, but I think he's still, I guess, a pillar there for the Chargers, right? I mean, that kind of
Hmm.
solidifies that position there for the Chargers.
Oh
Like
well,
what?
I think he's their quarterback of the future for
Yeah.
sure. He'll probably be the quarterback for the next 7, 8 to 10 years.
Hmm.
Um, he slings it. I get it. But I do think, let me put it into perspective as like what people were telling me um, in the past about Dak Prescott. When I would say, "Oh, Dak Prescott, he's throwing for like 370 yards a game, 350 yards a game," and everyone's response was, "It's all garbage yards, garbage time yards," because the Chargers are behind in a lot of games. He's just fucking slinging it.
Right.
I mean, he's got some good receivers when they're healthy. I mean, Mike Williams can't play like 3 consecutive games to save his life.
Neither can Keenan
Neither
Allen.
can Keenan Allen,
Yeah.
and both of them played this last week,
Hmm.
and they looked like a very efficient offense.
Right.
So it is nice when he's got his dudes. When C.D. Lamb and Amari Cooper last year weren't playing, like Dak Prescott struggled.
Right.
When Mike Evans doesn't play, Tom Brady struggles. It once you kind of get rid of the weapons, quarterback struggle. I
Hmm.
mean, fuck, look at Aaron Rodgers right now. They got rid of one guy, and
Right.
now it's like, should Aaron Rodgers retire? That's the conversations we're having. Last year we're picking him to win the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Well, maybe not you, but some people. Um, so I like Herbert. I'm just trying to be a realist. I don't think
Hmm.
he's quite there just yet. He will be eventually. But wouldn't really call myself a hater.
What about you, OC? What do you think? You think he'll eventually get there, or do you think he's another mirage that we're kind of just looking at?
I think what hurt him was everyone jumping on the bandwagon so early, and kind of like putting him up on this pedestal where it was easy for him to fall from.
Well,
Like
he was. I mean, he started off hot. Like he came in and right away he was having like 3, 4 touchdown passes each
yeah,
game,
but
right?
but that's the problem. Yeah,
Hmm.
he got up there so high right away that everyone thought like this was gonna be it. Like
Hmm.
this is what they expected from him every single time.
Hmm.
But like Andrew said, like yardage and or garbage time yardage, right?
Hmm.
I'm looking at some of his pass attempts, right? And well, I mean, no wonder he's second in the league in passing attempts. He's got what he threw 51 attempts against Miami,
Hmm.
47 the week before, 47 the week before that. He's
Right.
got other games where he's thrown over 51, 57, 45, 48. So the guy's he's thrown the ball like averaging over like 45 attempts a game. So he's
And
gonna
then
get yardage.
playing through injury on top of that too, right? Like I mean,
Yeah,
he's there's games where he's taking hits and you're just watching it. You're just like, how the fuck is he still standing, right?
yeah, because I mean, early on that one Monday night game where they struggled against the Broncos and he threw the ball 57 times, there was people just defending him like, oh, he's playing hurt. So then why are the
Hmm.
coaches calling so many damn passing plays then?
Right. Hmm.
And then it also helps that Austin Eckler is like top 10 in the league in receiving or in targets, and he's a running back.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So I think more that the issue with Justin Herbert is more of just the circumstances that he's in. Like Drew said, he doesn't have a very good head coach. But I mean, could you imagine if he was in a situation like Patrick Mahomes was in Kansas City, where it was a good, solid team, playoff team, and then you just plug in the missing pieces, which is Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not saying that we would have gotten the same result that we're getting Justin Herbert, but it's just like only imagine if he would have had those type of weapons, that
Hmm.
offensive line, that head coach around him, right? Even an offensive coordinator that was around him, right? Yeah, I think he would probably be in a lot. I think probably be having a different conversation about Herbert, right?
Yeah.
It's just that he's just in a really shitty situation, all like all around, right? Uh,
Yeah. They had to leave. Well, you know that you're in a tough franchise when you have to move cities.
right.
When you have to move cities, that's tough.
Which they're probably gonna move again. Like they get Like OC, how many like legit Charger fans were there at the game,
It was honestly split down the middle.
right?
When we
And
went
then
to that Chargers Cowboys game last year, it was like 75 to almost 80% Cowboy fans.
right, hmm
They always get outsold, especially Charger fans. Even when they were in
yeah,
San Diego, like you guys are asking me about how when was the last time I went to go watch them? That stadium was 60-40 for Dolphin fans, and that was one of the reasons they moved out of San Diego because they were
mm-hmm.
probably tired of getting outsold in their own stadium in San Diego. But it's still happening here at SoFi.
Right. Yeah, because I remember because growing up, I used to go to San Diego all the time, and it's not really a football city, right?
I don't think
Like
it's a sports city though. Like the
right,
Padres get outsold
hmm
when they play the Dodgers for sure.
right,
And I think that they it's almost 50-50 when the Giants go down there. I think San Diego in general is not quite the sports destination. I think it's a good like
It's
little
a great city. Yeah,
it's a
vacation
great city. It's
area.
an
Yeah.
awesome city, and
Yeah.
then I think also maybe a lot has to do with like the military having such a big footprint there too.
Hmm.
Like it's just you get so many
different
people
fan
from around the
bases. Yeah,
world. Yeah, and they're probably fans, and then when their team rolls in to go play in LA, that's who they're going to go cheer for. They're not going to go cheer for the Chargers, right?
Hmm.
I think it's like it's kind of a little bit about the same with the LA Rams. I mean, nobody from LA is actually from LA, right? There's like very
Hmm.
little people who like actually grew up in LA. A lot of it's just people, and then especially the people who have money to go to the games. It's like all these like what influencers and stuff like that, celebrities, and then they just go and cheer whatever team their publicist tells them to cheer for, right? In
I
LA.
mean, the biggest problem I think with the Rams fans, well, not the fans, the franchise is they
Mm-hmm.
left for an extended period of time, right? They went to St. Louis for what, like 20 years.
It was a long time,
I'm
yeah.
not, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
exactly how long, and I think you get a lot of that generation's gone now, so they don't go to these games that were the OG LA Rams fans
Right.
because OC knows Dodger Stadium it sells out with Dodger fans. Like
Right.
when the Padres go, when the Giants go, you'll get a decent amount of visiting fans there, but not a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Um, Dodger fans and Laker fans, they travel really well. You will not see any other team outsell the Laker fans in LA. Like you might see a few handful of opposing fans, but you won't ever see the Lakers sell out, or the Lakers be close to like a 50, 60, 40.
Right.
It is always 90-ish% Laker fans. It's the same thing at the Dodgers game. Maybe the Padres and Giants can get to about 80%
Mm-hmm.
Dodger fans, but I think that's the biggest problem with both those teams. They're not really in the last 20 years, or they haven't really had the
Go ahead. Get the
my,
word out.
my
Get,
my
get,
brain just
get
stopped.
the words out.
They don't have the roots there that a lot of these other franchises do.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying though, and it's a crowded city for sure when it comes to franchise, and I think the Chargers are probably the odd man out, right? Like
Hmm.
I think they'd probably be better off moving maybe somewhere else. I mean, who knows? Maybe going to Austin. Austin's a big, huge city that doesn't have a football franchise or a professional franchise on
They
top
only
of
care
that.
about they only care about college football in Austin.
Just and then even then the Texas right universities
Yeah.
still has a huge footprint and they have a huge fan base there.
So,
Um,
but I mean, didn't the Chargers pay like $2.5 billion for that stadium?
something like that.
They split it 50-50,
Well, they
didn't
went
they? The Rams and the
splitsies with the
Chargers,
Rams. Yeah,
a $5 billion stadium. So I I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon unless they expect the Rams to buy them out, or the city that they're
sure
moving
that
to buy them out.
right. I mean, I'm not saying anytime soon, but I mean, who knows? It might happen in the future. You never know.
Maybe.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. And I kind of want to ask you guys a little bit about Tom Brady. And I finally got to watch him this weekend play live. And
hold on,
How
Tom Purdy.
unfortunate!
Tom
How
Purdy,
unfortunate! You finally get to watch the goat play, and he
and
fucking looks like fucking Kirk Cousins in prime time.
probably the worst performance he's had in probably a while. I mean,
Hmm.
we could probably go back and hand pick some of the like. We could probably count his terrible performances on one hand throughout his entire career. And this has
Half
got
of
to
them are
be
playing against the Saints.
right, and this has got to
Yeah.
be up there. Um, but it's just the Bucs. Is there any saving their season at this point? Like, I mean, given the division that they're in, they still might go to the playoffs. But is this about
You
it for the
know,
Bucs?
I'm rooting. I was rooting one of the few times I was rooting for the Niners this weekend. And you might ask me why. And it's not because I'm anti Tom Brady. It's because I don't want the Cowboys to have to go play in Tampa Bay their first round of playoffs. It doesn't matter how shitty Tom Brady is. Once he's in the playoffs, it's Tom Brady in the playoffs. Not too many people are gonna bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Hold on,
Granted, the
sir.
cow, the huh?
So hold on, sir. So are you proclaiming that the Eagles are going to win the division, and you're going to have
As
stuff?
as of right
He's
now,
he's
as
he's
of
it's
right
set in
now,
stone.
as of right now,
I just want
look,
to. I just want
the
to get that
Cowboys are
clear.
gonna beat the Eagles on Christmas Eve,
So
but that still
are you
puts them
finally
one
gonna
game
admit
behind.
are you finally gonna admit that the Eagles are the real deal? I mean,
No,
look how far
I'm going over their
one
schedule.
loss. Let's finally admit it.
Well, let me pull up their schedule.
He's wearing the Eagles.
The dude,
I am not wearing
the
Eagle
word,
colors. This is
dude,
not Eagle colors. Get the
the
fuck
words
out
are
of here.
legit choking him. Like it's choking him. That's like on the bottom of his throat, trying to come out, but it just it won't let
See,
him.
the, okay,
Just
so
finally admit it. The
no,
Eagles are legit.
Let it
I'm
go,
not
Drew.
admitting that, dude. So they got the Bears this week. Hopefully, my boy Justin Fields just fucking goes
Yeah,
off.
I doubt it.
Then the week after that, that's the big showdown, right? That's
That's the big
Cowboys and
one.
Eagles. Yeah.
In Dallas,
Then they got
right?
the Saints. Then they got the Giants. I don't see the Eagles losing to the Saints. I think it's going to be a tough challenge for the Bears to beat the Eagles. So really, if the Cowboys take care of business on Christmas Eve, I have to hope for the Giants to beat to beat the Eagles, and that ain't happening. That's the team that I picked to fold. Remember, like 3-4 weeks ago, we talked about teams that are going to end
Right.
up folding. They were in playoff contention. I picked the Giants to fold. I think they're going to lose the Commanders this week, and that's going to basically push them out of the playoff contention. So I
The
think
Giants have fizzled out here in the
yeah.
past few weeks. Yeah.
I just think that the schedule sets up nicely for the Eagles to get that number one overall seed. I'm
Mm.
hoping for a miracle. I'm hoping my boy Justin Fields runs for like 160 yards this week, throws for 2 touchdowns. Um, and that's bonus for me because I'm starting him on fantasy football this week, and it's a must win for me.
I mean, you never know. I mean, I know the Eagles are probably pretty set on not just winning the division, but they're probably going to try to win the conference as much as they can to just get home field advantage throughout the
Hmm.
playoffs, which to me is a little bit scary, um, given that if anybody's going to go through the NFC to go to the Super Bowl, it's going to have to be through Philadelphia
Hmm.
in the winter, which is probably not the best. It's gonna be a tough go at it, but then you honestly just never know with the NFL.
Hmm.
The Eagles just might get snuck up on by the Giants. They might get snuck up on by Chicago, like you said. I mean, you
It's
never know,
it's the
right?
NFL, and that's something that we've learned firsthand this season, right?
Right.
The Colts went toe to toe with the Eagles this year. The Texans went toe to toe with the Cowboys yesterday. I mean, what the movie Any Given Sunday, right? I mean,
Right.
that's what's been the conversation the last couple of days is yes, the Cowboys were disappointing this last week, but at the same time, these guys showed out for the Texans. They had a good game plan. They came and they played well. They knew what to do on defense. They knew what to do on offense. I mean, they're NFL guys. I mean,
They're
they're
paid
all dudes, right?
professionals.
Huh?
Yeah. They're paid professionals. They
Yeah,
all have
exactly.
a.
Right.
This is their
Yeah,
career, so they're not
yeah,
gonna sit there and roll over. You know.
yeah.
They're not some like high school team that's like waiting for the season to be over at the end of
Give up at the end of the first
right.
quarter. We're already
These
down by
It's
14.
not
It's
college
over.
where half the guys are in the transfer portal and
right.
Yeah,
As those guys' careers, these guys are trying to earn salaries, and not just for this year, but they're trying to earn a
for
job
next
for
year. Yeah,
next year.
yep,
trying to
Right.
put some good on film.
Right,
yep.
exactly. So you can never just count somebody out, especially in the NFL where there's few little teams and few little spots on every roster. Um, but yeah, like I said, let's stick with the Bucks. Again, we had a little bit of a tangent there. Do you guys think this is about it? I mean, or is it? I mean, Tom Brady, yeah, he played pretty terrible, but I mean, I feel like we can use the same excuses. Well, not excuses, but he kind of does have a similar circumstance as like Justin Fields and the Chargers, and it's just his offensive line is depleted, his weapons are having trouble staying healthy, and his defense is horrendous this year.
Hmm.
Do you guys think more it's maybe just the circumstance that Tom Brady's in?
Well, uh, it's tough because we've talked about it. Just seems that they're not flowing right now. They've got a lot of injuries that's changing the outcome of games, but it seems like 5 years ago it doesn't matter these injuries. Tom Brady was still going to get the job done, and he really can't do that right now. So he's got to. I think what this is the end of his contract, right? This season.
Right, he's a free agent
He's
after
a
this
free
year.
agent. I'm thinking, especially since he got a divorce, he's definitely gonna play another year in the NFL at least.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's gonna go to a team that's got a quality O line and is gonna be a contender. I don't know where he goes, but yeah, I don't know. These Bucks, you watch them against who they play, the Saints the other night, the comeback, right, with like
Right.
2 minutes left, he two scores. That looks like vintage Tom Brady. He's finding guys. They're moving the ball quick. That's like the 2 minute Tom Brady. You get him within a reaching chance, he's gonna get the job done. And then he looks like Tom Brady that we just watched him play in Santa Clara this last week. It's like, dude, you had no chance even from the get go.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you saw his interview. Like, he didn't even shower. Like, he just put his street clothes on. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. He's like, I don't want to be here anymore. So,
Well, yeah, and watching that interview after the game, and it's like he doesn't want to throw guys under the bus, right? Where he's like, where he was like, yeah, but, and we've been saying yeah, but this entire year. He's like, yeah, but our offensive line just fucking sucks. You can't keep him healthy. You can't keep him up. Like their offensive line can't stay healthy, and then his weapons can't stay healthy, and guys around him just aren't making plays. Like where is playoff Lenny when you need him? Right? He's nowhere to be found. Same thing, not making plays. Gronk's gone. The tight end that they have to replace him is not up to task. And Godwin and Evans just aren't making the plays this year.
Isn't
that's
So
that the
something that
guy you kind of want to lead your team though? Somebody that is so team oriented that he's never gonna sell out his
oh
guys. Like that?
yeah, yeah, for sure. That's what I think. That's what sets him apart as a leader, right? The guys
You
are
see,
always going to
did
ride or
you
die
guys
with
see all
him.
the clips on like NFL films and all the videos of how many guys? Like it's like
oh, dude,
he's like
the
bigger than life. Like after the
Right,
game,
dude
everybody wants.
Greenlaw getting him to sign the ball he picked off, right? Was it
right.
Greenlaw?
Yeah, Dre
Dude, I
Greenlaw.
I
Yeah,
was like, dude, that's nice.
it's
Jawan,
Like,
class. It's
Jawan
class.
yeah,
Jennings had him sign his own jersey. He's all, bro. He's
yeah,
all, I've been watching you since I
Right,
was 5 years old. Can you sign
hmm
my jersey? Like, he's like bigger than life, you know?
right. Oh,
that's awesome.
he's pure class. He's an absolute legend. And yeah, like you guys said, I really don't want him to go out this way. Like I want him to stay and actually make a run. You
So
know?
now you bring up a good topic.
Is he going
So,
back to New England? That's all
there
I
you
want to
go.
know.
So,
Is he
so
going back to Bill?
everything has not been going his way, right? And the crazy part is he can still win the division and still have a home playoff game.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
I'm not counting the man out until he's for sure
Like
out.
out.
You know?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Hmm
That's I'm I need the Saints to start winning games. I'd
Right.
much rather the Cowboys have to go play in the Superdome than.
The man's been doing it for 20 plus years. I learned a long time ago never to count that dude out. So
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just
OC
gonna
definitely knows.
I'm just gonna assume he'll figure it out. You know, even if he's almost 50. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean everything that's gone bad with his personal life and then the team and all the
hmm
injuries, and now you start seeing all the little stories like, oh, if this is it for him in Tampa, he could go back to New England, or what if he goes to San Francisco, or what if he goes to Las Vegas? Like all these stories start coming out when shit starts hitting the fan, you know?
Right.
Well, I would have thought San Francisco was a possibility,
hmm
but with Purdy, if he does decent finishing out the season, I think you really do have a competition next season with Trey and Purdy. And I
The
don't I
Bird.
don't I don't
What
think
about my boy Jimmy? Just get count.
no Jimmy. Bye Jimmy.
That's a
I.
They're
3 year
doing just as fine without Jimmy that they were doing with Jimmy. So you're
They're
getting rid of Jimmy.
honestly playing better with Purdy than they were with Jimmy.
He can throw
Watching
the ball downfield.
just he's making big boy throws that Jimmy couldn't make. Like I think there was one where he made to the sideline where he like sidestepped the defender, cut inside, and then like
Yeah,
launched it to Debo on
that
the
was fucking
sideline.
badass,
Right?
dude.
That's just like, dude, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
And the other one he pushed down the field to Ayuk, the one he put in the corner of the end zone to McCaffrey. The dude's making big time throws. Like I mean, uh, Jimmy couldn't make those throws, dude. Like it's just flat out. Jimmy couldn't make
Purdy
plays.
Purdy's
Uh,
balling. The thing with Purdy is you just hope that it's not like that. Hey, that like little rookie flame, right? You just want to
right,
see it to continue.
right,
I
Um,
I think what helps him is that he has such a great defense that they're probably telling him like, bro, just sling the
just
ball. We
sling it.
got your back.
right,
Like we're
Don't
gonna,
be like Jimmy. Do the opposite of what Jimmy did.
yeah. Like they're
right,
saying like, bro, we're only giving up 16 points per game. All you
right.
got to do is score twice, and we're good. We'll
Like
get a couple field
Purdy's
goals.
playing. He's playing pretty loose, right? He's I
Like,
guess
he's got nothing to
no,
lose.
he had no, yeah, nothing to lose. There was zero expectations for him.
Hmm.
He wasn't even supposed to step on the field this year, and no one's giving him a hard time. Like if he doesn't perform, like on
Yeah.
Sunday, people were legit chanting his name throughout the entire game. Like
Tom
people love
Brady.
him right now. Yeah, Purdy just. It was going crazy. The crowd loved him. Like he legit stole the show, especially being able to throw 2 touchdown passes and drive
Hmm.
down the field, what 4 times? Yeah, the guy's a fan favorite right now.
Hmm.
But the verdict's still out. It's only been 2 games. You still don't know what's going to happen, and especially if the Niners do make the playoffs, you still never know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
we'll just sit and wait. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's the guy, but he's looking pretty good right now.
He's looking like he at least deserves the opportunity
Right, right.
to take that spot next season.
Hmm.
Like
He
Well, I
looks.
think
I think you cut ties with Jimmy because I mean
I think so too.
you
Yeah.
you have a competitive 2-man race for the quarterback next year in Trey and Purdy.
Hmm.
You don't need Jimmy for what reason?
Right.
These guys are capable to do what Jimmy did. I think we've talked
Right.
about it. Almost anyone is capable to do what Jimmy did in that offense.
Well, I
Hmm.
think this is a good segue then to talk about the game tomorrow night because that becomes a huge game,
Right.
right?
It's massive.
It's over in Seattle. This
It's huge
is
for both teams.
Yeah, this is essentially for the division lead, right? I
Yeah,
think the
winner
Niners
right
are
here
up.
pretty much has the straight
They get to run the
title.
table, right?
Yeah, they can go take the division title. This is probably gonna lead you into the division title.
Right,
Well,
because
the
then go ahead.
Seattle's still 2 games back, aren't they?
They're 1 game back, I think. I think the
7-6 and 9-4.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's big for Seattle
it's so
because
big
they're on
in
the bubble.
yeah,
They're on the bubble of the wild card,
right.
right? As of right now, they're out. But fortunately, the teams that are in front of them
Mm-hmm.
are both playing each other this week, and it's the Giants Commanders, and both teams still have to play
Mm-hmm.
the Eagles, and the Commanders
Right.
still have to play the Cowboys. So Seattle needs to win this game, assuming that they're going to get the help that they need down the road. The
Right.
Niners need to just keep rolling, right? They can't start to fall off the tracks here.
Right.
So it is a big game for both.
Mm-hmm.
It is a rivalry game. It's in Seattle. So what's
It's
the
always
weather
tough.
like? Is it going to be pouring rain? You know, it's going to be a good game. This is always a good game, regardless
Right.
of what the standings are between these two teams. But now that there's both teams need this win, it's going to make it even bigger.
Because regardless, you still have Pete Carroll on the other side. I know
Hmm.
the past I guess decade or so, Russell Wilson has been the Niners' kryptonite. Like no matter what the Niners, no matter how well they perform, Russell Wilson always found a way against the Niners.
Well, this year's the Broncos kryptonite.
Yeah, right. Um, and then I mean, Russell Wilson still even beat the Niners earlier this year with the Broncos.
Yeah.
So it's just Russell Wilson does Russell Wilson things against the Niners. He's not there anymore, but regardless, you still have Pete Carroll, and it's a huge game in Seattle. Seattle's not been playing that well. They just came off the loss against Carolina. Geno Smith, his flame kind of fizzled out a little bit. And let's not forget that Geno Smith played absolutely terrible against the Niners earlier this year. I think that was the game that Trey Lance got hurt, and the Niners Jimmy came in and just absolutely rolled them. So we'll see what happens. Regardless of that, it's still a huge game. And yeah, the NFL on a Thursday night, you never know. And Purdy was hurt a little bit. So he's still listed.
He's got
still
like
listed as
a
questionable right
he's
now.
got an oblique injury, right? Like
Right.
he took a shot and got a little hurt there, right?
Yeah. So you just never know. Josh Johnson might get to start, and we'll just see what happens. And hopefully Kyle Shanahan's prepared and ready to take on that defense. So we'll see how
Okay.
it goes.
Let's go back before we went on this tangent again, back onto the Niners. Let's go back to Tom Brady. Okay. Do we think that he is going back to New England, or do you guys think somewhere else?
He's not going to New England. I'll tell you right now, it's not happening.
Okay.
That bridge is burned, and I don't think not necessarily that the bridge is burned. That roster's not set up to win. Let's be real, right? Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree?
I disagree. I think Tom Brady, he's got a lot of confusion going on right now with
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it's a mess right in Tampa, and I
Mm-hmm.
think going back to something that he knows, right? It's like the ex-girlfriend. Going back to the ex-girlfriend, it's safe. It's you know what you're getting into. That New England defense, they're a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they make some moves in the offseason to strengthen the O line a little bit, and then it's Tom Brady with the Patriots and Bill Belichick again. I think that that's going to work well for both of them. I do know that there was some slander going on between the two of them, some subtweeting or shade throwing back and forth. You know, kind of like Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. But I
Right.
think that it's in the best interest for both of them to kind of come back together if they
The
want to win again.
the only thing I would say to combat that is Matt Patricia's calling plays for New England, and that has not been going well. Before he had Josh McDaniels calling plays for him, which is not going that well for him in Oakland, right? Or
Hey, maybe
I keep doing
Kraft
that
buys
in
out.
Vegas,
Maybe Kraft buys them out in Vegas.
and just get the
He's
game
got
back
the money.
together. One
Get
last
the game
dance,
one one last ride.
one last
New
ride.
England,
Hey,
let's
Mark,
ride.
here's some extra millions for your weak
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah.
Right.
There you go. I'll buy out your head coach.
I think he'd probably be more likely to go to Vegas than he would to go to New England. I think Josh McDaniels has a bigger role to play
Hmm.
than him going back to New England to be with Bill Belichick. From coming out with everything that's come out since Tom Brady's left, I don't think that relationship between him and Bill was all that great.
Yeah, I I think it'd be interesting for him to go to Vegas so he can go back with his former OC.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Derek Carr and Devonte Adams are finally. It took 7 or 8 games too long, but are finally getting on the right page. They're
but
finally stacking up some statistics. It's almost to a point where like you want to try it again next year just
but
because like there's like that little bit of hope.
there's
Get a better defense. Get a
but
better
there's
defense, and you
still
guys are in so many more games.
they're still not winning. They're still not. They still couldn't close the game out against the Rams.
Derek
They're
Carr and
still
Devontae
not winning.
Adams, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams aren't playing defense. That's my only argument there.
Yeah, but they could have scored more points to put the game away, right?
I mean,
OC,
obviously,
OC, what do you think, man? Where do you think Tom is gonna head up?
I think that dude is all about challenges, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him try to go to a third team and try to really make his
Right.
last hurrah somewhere. Because I mean, the dude loves the Bay Area. This dude had 80 plus people at the game on
That's
Saturday,
what I heard. Yeah.
and I just there's something that like he's been a Bay Area kid. He grew up rooting for the Niners. I
His
mean,
family still lives there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
they said the story that his parents still live in the same house in San
You're
Mateo.
right. Mhm.
Um, so I still think there's like this little drive in him that he wants to at least make one run at it with his hometown team,
I'd take him, but I mean,
and then
you
maybe they could learn. Maybe Brock and Lance and Trey can learn from him.
can learn from him, right? Sit for another year, learn from the goat. I mean, but the thing is, I don't know if the Niners would be in a situation to roll
Yeah,
out the red carpet for him.
yeah,
Uh,
and then cap wise, I don't think they have enough money to him for him.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially how much they paid Debo. I mean, you still have McCaffrey that you're gonna have to pay eventually, unless the Niners are okay with just letting him go, which I can see them doing. I mean, they know how to draft running backs, so I think it would be. I think it would be. There would have to be a lot of things to go right for him to end up in San Francisco, and I
I
think it's going to be too much.
I don't see it. I think they got a good situation for the future of their
Right.
quarterback room right now. With granted, we've seen a game and a half of Purdy, but
Right.
we've seen enough to say, you know what, this guy's capable of playing the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? He he
Right.
he beat two. Technically, he's beaten 2 playoff contenders. Right? He's beaten a division leader, and he beat the Dolphins. They're in the wild card hunt.
Hmm.
So I think you got a good situation when you kind of, regardless of the way the season ends this year, you're thinking, damn, you know what? That was a really good team. Injuries kind of set us back because Jimmy and Trey, they got hurt. But now you kind of got to look at, hey, next year, we're in a really good situation to run this thing back and do it again.
Right. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up, man. I mean, there's a lot of teams that we can throw out there. What if he ends up going to the Jets and having to play New England twice, right?
Hey,
You never know.
that'd be crazy.
I think that would be an awesome fit for him. With the weapons that they have there, I mean, maybe give him a couple more weapons, but
Can you
that
imagine
defense,
him going to the Jets and playing the Patriots twice a year?
That'd be crazy, bro.
and if that, I mean, everybody respects Tom, especially the New England fans, but would
Apparently
that be
not
a
Bill
little bit
Belichick.
right? But would that be a little bit of a dagger to the heart for New England fans if he were to go to the Jets,
I mean,
or they would still Tom?
that'd be tough. If he won maybe like one Super Bowl or two Super Bowls, you'd be a little pissed off. The dude won 6 Super Bowls for you.
Right.
You can't be upset at the guy.
Yeah.
Just hey, you guys probably would have never won any of those Super Bowls if it wasn't for him.
Right.
So who cares what he does at this point?
So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting off season. It's be interesting regular season for him. I mean, the guy's took in L's left and right this on and off the field this season. Um, it kind of sucks to watch the goat kind of go down like this. I hope he comes back for sure. Yeah, at least one more go at it. Maybe even two. Shit, who knows? He might play till he's 50. Fuck it.
I as long as he can get a healthy line, why not? Right?
Right.
Get some protection because he can't move for shit. He can't move out of the pocket. So
But that's been his whole career. So.
yeah, so nothing's new. You just got to protect Tom Brady, and he'll do Tom Brady things.
Right. Right. Anything else you guys want to bring up, or are you guys ready to get into the picks?
No, we can do the picks.
All right. We kind of dragged it on a little bit longer. Let's go. The big game tomorrow. San Francisco at Seattle. Who you guys got?
I'm
I
not
think
picking against Tom Purdy.
I am gonna pick against Tom Purdy because I think this is I did say he's won 2 big games, but I think this is his first rivalry game. It's his first game in Seattle. That's a little bit different. It's against the 12th man on the road, a must win for both teams. Like we said, I'm gonna go with a little bit of the experience and take Seattle.
It's a tough mountain to climb for sure this week. All eyes on him, especially if he's hurt. If he's still even going to play, who knows? Josh Johnson might even get the start. So we'll see what happens, but I'm still going to roll with the Niners.
Can you imagine the Niners start making a playoff run and their fourth fucking quarterback of the season? It's fucking outrageous.
Santa Clara 49ers.
Right. Just might as well put the fucking crown on Kyle Shanahan's head right now. He's the best coach ever. Let's go the Giants at the Commanders. Who you guys got?
That's gonna be a fun little game to watch. Young's gonna make his season debut, they say. Chase Young for the Commanders.
Right. Yeah.
But I think they said that they were expecting him to make his debut last weekend or 2 weeks ago, and he didn't do it. But I'm gonna pick the Commanders. I'm gonna run with Heineke.
Oh, see.
Yeah, is it in Washington?
Yeah, it's at Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Commanders.
I think so too. I think they're rolling a little hot right now.
Jesus Christ, here comes a jinx. All three of us picked the same team.
It's gonna be the Giants.
Could it be the Giants?
It's gonna be the Giants, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still gonna roll with them. I think they're coming in hot. I think the Giants, like Drew said, they're starting to fizzle out pretty much. I think they're starting to fold. Yeah, and then the Rams at the Packers. Who you guys got?
Who really cares? Who cares?
Rolling with Baker again?
Another fucking Monday night game that fucking blows. Let me tell you.
The NFL was legit terrible at picking these games. It's just terrible.
No, I'm gonna pick Aaron Rodgers. It's in Lambeau. Sorry, Baker. Baker's not. I don't think Baker's good enough right now to consistently win games.
Oh, see.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Aaron Rodgers at home on Monday night.
Should I just pick the Rams so we don't jinx the Packers?
You can do whatever the hell you want.
No, I'm gonna pick the Packers. There's no way
I'm the only one that picked Seattle, right? That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Just like I was the only one to pick Morocco, huh?
Yeah, we'll give you that one. That's true.
Hey, the
Like I
Giants.
was, but last week I was the only one to pick the Chargers. So
Touche.
Wait a minute.
Touche.
The Giants and Commanders tied 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's
Do
the
you
tie.
do you know how big that is for the playoff push? Like that is huge for Seattle looking in
Hey, watch they
because it
tie
is one
again.
less loss. Oh, dude, if they tie again,
That'd be
Seattle's gonna be like, "Are you
hilarious.
guys fucking kidding me? Are you guys kidding me? You're screwing us over like drastically here."
fuck Seattle, dude. I hope they tie.
It's
Fuck
almost
them,
like
dude.
it's not quite at the end of the season like it was for the Raiders and Chargers last year, but it's almost like similar situations. Like,
It's
hey, if
getting
we
there.
tie, we can both continue to stay alive in the playoffs
Right.
here.
hmm It's getting there. We'll see how it goes. The the NFC Beast and the Eagles look like they're going to start running the table, man. All right, man. I think we'll go ahead close it out.
All right, buddy. Thanks for watching. Smash that like and subscribe button, and hopefully you guys can send us your thoughts and prayers because Fresno State's got that LA Bowl this weekend. Need that big dub. It's gonna be good for the program. Hopefully we can get some new recruits. Um, yeah, I think that's it.
Sounds good, man. Way to close it out. All right, man.
All right, everybody.
We'll see you guys later.
Go dogs.
Go
Peace.
Dogs.
Go Dogs.